everybody. Thank you for joining us for Changeling the Lost Second Edition, Viva Lost Vegas, Session 29. Before we get started, just a quick reminder that the world below is now on backer kit. Likewise, uh, likewise, there's also currently a Scarred Lands bundle of holding going on to support the Badana group. If you're interested in either of those, there's links in the chat. So let's go ahead and get into it. Today is Wednesday, December 1st, 2021. What have you been doing for the last 4 days? Who wants to go first?
Oh, I'll go.
What?
So for the first day, I decided after we've had two major events occur at that record store that maybe this is a place the enemy is setting up a bit of shop there, using as a recon spot. I'm not sure. Either way, I don't like it, and I set a watch to be paying attention there. Doesn't take a lot of work. Got a spring night or two to just go in and check in on it. Um, we a couple nights back we got a list of names from Sister Mary's mind in the midst of her death, including all of her collaborators and what they'd been doing. And so I passed that off to the Spring Court or nobility. It included a lot of spring courtiers, so this is going to be fun, but better to clean up now than later. I spent and today teaching the Grimalkins how to make a proper tequila sunrise, which took a while. Caused them to get coated in sticky syrup and annoyed the crap out of them, but they got it. And I'm feeling a lot better for having spent some time working on my alcohol. And lastly, I went and talked to Madam Anybody and Jack about the Winter King's increased paranoia. And they're a bit concerned. And they suggest we do some deeper investigation into what's going on and maybe try and find a solution. So we're probably going to be doing that soon.
Alrighty, who wants to go next?
So for me, it was my usual routine of heading down to the Goblin Market and doing my auction. Then day two was spent with Delilah as usual. She seems to be a little worse for wear right now, so might need to spend a little more quality time with her than normal. Then day three was spent continuing my search for my icons. Seems like I'm getting pretty close, so might be seeing something coming out of that pretty soon here. And the last day, I picked up the search for the other Huntsman's Heart.
Alrighty. And Kinsey?
So, day 1 and 2, I was working on my turf. I was recently assigned a turf that I could do what I wanted with drug wise, and I've been clearing it out. And I started setting up runners. I've got a bunch of people from the Winter Court who were ready to help do that. Hitching their wagon to a rising star, which happens to be me. Thank you. Who had no problems being recruited. After that, I decided to steal drugs from anyone that I still found selling on my turf that didn't work for me. And I dispatched them easily, and their product is subpar, but hey, it's free. Day 3, I volunteered in my community as a candy striper at the hospital. Namely, I harvested a mortal for some glamour. And that went pretty well. And then day 4, I did the most important thing of all, and I spent the entire day with my kitten. my purely mortal kitten, who has only the basic of expectations, and who wanted nothing from me other than feather on a stick. So I had a pretty good week.
Alrighty then. So let's get into it. Tonight is Wednesday, December 1st, 2021. Where are you at, and what are you doing?
I think we're at court, aren't we, guys?
Yeah, I think we're going to be at court. I guess I'm going to be at my usual place behind the bar, keeping my ears open and waiting for the others to turn up.
I'm with my usual crowd of autumn courtiers, talking esoterics and ethics.
And I'm going to be chilling around Will, trying to see what he says and what he's like. Trying to get a better read of where he's at right now.
Alrighty, so you are going to be trying to uh, figure out where he's at mentally.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Let's see. Let's make that an opposed roll. I believe that would be wits plus empathy. Versus, I would say, his composure plus uh, expression.
2 successes.
All right. So how far away are you watching him from?
I'd say a little bit away, kind of mid crowd, but still within hearing distance with my sharp ears.
All right. Will sitting at his customary table with a handful of winter nights, keeping a lookout on him. You notice that he seems a bit twitchy, which is something that you've never actually seen from him before.
I head over to the bar and let Elliot know.
Evening, Kenzie. The usual?
Shirley Temple, please.
On the rocks. I slide it across the table. It was prepped in my hand so fast you barely saw the blur of them. I must have prepped it mostly while you were on the way over. So, what's it looking like tonight?
Looks like a mouse. Real twitchy.
Never a good thing to hear. Well, we're gonna get some answers tonight. And with that, we can start making some choices. I sit down and enjoy a tequila sunrise that one of the cats had prepared earlier just to prove a point.
I meander my way over to Tibbs, pretending like I'm interested in ethics.
It's not very convincing.
Thankfully, Kit knows you well enough that just a few seconds of that he excuses himself from the conversation and joins you elsewhere.
King's looking a little twitchy. Like he's got ants under his skin.
That's really odd. Okay.
So, Kenzie,
Yes.
you've been making lots of friends in the Winter Court.
Yes.
Do you think you might be able to get us in to see the nobles? Maybe think we could try and feel them out? See if they know anything that's going on?
That's a really good idea. Kenny, who are the nobles? I know all the Spring Court nobles. I don't know any of the Winter Court nobles.
You've never actually had to interact with them before. Being as you're a winter knight, though, you would absolutely understand a few things about how the winter court works. So let's say, give me a give me an intelligence plus politics roll.
Good luck.
Do you need some help?
I'll let you add your mantle too, since it's relevant.
Yeah, I could really use some assistance.
All right. Intelligence plus politics. All right. +1.
You said plus mantle too, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I'll let you add your mantle. Did you want to help? Well, I suppose the roll's already made, and a success is a success.
That's a
That's
decent
4
success too.
successes.
Yeah, I was going to ask if Kit wanted to help too, but that ship has already sailed.
Not exactly my wheelhouse.
Give me 1 second because I think that's an exceptional success for me. Never mind, I can't figure out where to find it.
Move along.
Well, the two of you put your heads together to try to see if you can recall some names. Especially since it's fairly odd to Kenzie that she's never actually met any winter nobles, despite holding a place of prominence in the winter court itself. Oh, hydrate everyone. Thank you, Rose.
Thank you, Rosie.
Damn it, Rosie, I was reading.
So after a few minutes of conversation, the two of you remember a tidbit that you got told during freehold orientation, which was a lot of info, so it didn't exactly stick too hard at the time. The winter court's custom when it comes to the nobility is to, except for the king and the knights, to keep the actual titles of the nobles secret. That way, if the king or queen were to be unable to govern, there would always be at least one noble who could take over. It's not possible for anyone, even other winter courtiers, to take out all the four winter nobles.
So, hey, hey, famous detective person.
Yeah.
If if I know anything about Will's paranoia would absolutely have him being extremely ready for his own sudden violent murder.
Yep.
Which means that he would be in regular communication with all of these people, and thus they would have a good chance to read him. Just not anywhere anyone would see it. So if we can identify one of these people and talk to them, one, a knight showing that they have the skill to manipulate that kind of information and show up at the door of one of these nobles is going to look really good for Kenzie.
Or really bad.
No. Really good. This is the Winter Court. Being able to manipulate secrets like that is absolutely a show of skill.
Okay.
It's just like if somebody like showed off better magic than Agatha, it would be a big deal.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
I think what we need to do tonight is identify at least one of the Winter Nobles. We've got a really good reason to do it, too. Outside of our explicit reason. Kenzie's climbing up in the world. They've got their own patch that they're taking claim on. Getting in touch with a patron wouldn't be a terrible idea.
Okay.
And let's be honest, having the person who's doing all of your connections be someone from another court isn't viable long term.
Yeah. So, just to kind of get things started, can I kind of stand back and observe the winter courtiers and see if I can suss out a pecking order?
Yeah, give me wits plus investigation.
Alrighty.
There's only one person that we can really bring in on this investigation, and that's going to be Madam Anybody. Meeting with Jack directly is going to be too dangerous right now if we're going to be following this lead up.
Mm-hmm.
But we could probably talk to Madam Anybody and see if she has any clues if we can't find any of our own.
Sounds good. I got 5 successes.
All right, bear with me a few moments.
So yeah, here's my thoughts on this. We try and get all the information we can. We try and follow up, see some important people. Just follow this up as a rising winter knight trying to get their name out there, meet the important people, build some connections.
Yeah.
Naturally, their motley is just along with them because they care and want to support them. Perfectly sensible. And feel them out, maybe get them talking, see how they're feeling about things in the winter court. Get a feel for the local politics.
Yep. All right. So, Kenny, I got 5 successes.
All right, bear with me a few moments while I work on this here for you.
Yep.
All right. So, does that make sense to you, Kenzie?
Yeah, very much so.
Besides, you deserve to get some good support. You've been kicking ass in your territory. You've got them mostly chased out, from what I've been hearing.
Yeah, my territory is looking pretty fly.
Word.
I could probably get you some overheard conversation if you want, by the way. Tibbs, I'm usually running around with a bunch of drinks, and there's lots of winter courtiers here tonight. I'm guessing somebody's going to talk this or that might give us something to work with.
Yeah, I mean it's worth a shot. I was I think I think I was able to get us a good starting point. Um,
We'll see.
but we'll see. Yeah.
All right. So Kit sits back and takes a good look around the room to see if he can observe anything in particular. So, uh, looking around the courtroom, uh, one thing does stand out to him. Uh, there's a few areas where winter courtiers do congregate, and being an autumn night, Kit has had some interaction with the other winter knights. Also, being in a motley with one of the winter knights doesn't hurt. So, what stands out to him most of all is a table where a handful of winter knights seem to be paying a special attention to a winter courtier he doesn't really recognize. Um, it appears to be a larger person, a gentleman, somewhere around the neighborhood of 6 feet, dressed fairly casually, dark hoodie and sweatpants. Uh, the hood is pulled down, so you can see a exterior of weathered stone with a face like one of those gargoyles that you would put up on the eaves of a old school church. Looking at this person and the way that uh, the winter knights appear to be attending to him, Kit thinks this might be the best bet at a winter noble if you're just going to stab out randomly here.
Would you like me to go in and try to overhear the conversation? Pass out some drinks?
Sounds like a good idea to me.
Yep.
Alright, I summon the ancient technique of the invisible waiter. Um, gonna. Would you accept socialize as presence? Or socialize plus composure for trying to be the invisible part of the scenery as I deliver drinks and overhear conversation?
Me? Invisible scenery? Yes, absolutely.
That sounds like a good roll.
Alright. Socialize plus composure. Oh. 4 successes.
All right. So what exactly are you trying to do here? Espionage, talk them up?
I am attempting to overhear their conversation without interrupting it. Basically, I want them to pretend I'm not there while I'm delivering the drinks, doing the just fading into the background as they're working. If I can even understand the nature of the kind of conversation they're having, it might give us an idea as to, why they're talking, why they're all gathered up here, and who this person is. I might even get a name.
Right. So while heading over to serve drinks, they don't appear to be taking any particular notice of you. However, from overhearing their conversation, something does immediately jump out at you. They appear to be talking in code, um, throwing out a handful of stock phrases to one another that bear no relation to what's going on in the conversation. One of them says that it looks like rain, which it absolutely is not raining outside and does not appear to be. And someone else replies to him that he he needs to do the shopping.
That was the best possible answer. I go back, trying not to look like I'm giddy as a schoolgirl as I return, setting another drink on a coaster in front of Kit. So, they've got a cant.
Really? I mean, I guess I shouldn't be surprised.
And we've got
All
a
right.
perfect in to go and figure out what it is.
Okay.
Kenzie, you've noticed people talking in code, haven't you?
Any have I?
No, now you have. Now you
Oh,
have.
okay.
You're curious, and you need to go talk to some of your other Winter Court friends and ask if there's something you should be learning.
Yes, I do. Kenny, who's my mentor in the Winter Court?
Probably be Will, wouldn't it?
Yeah, okay, perfect. I go up to Will.
You know what? Yes! There's no reason why you... Yeah, that's perfectly sensible.
Yeah.
Go!
So I wander up to Will, and I wait until he's kind of got a moment for me to yaw his ear off.
You're gonna ask for language lessons again, aren't you?
I am.
So, Will is having a conversation with a handful of winter courtiers, some knights, etc. After a few moments during a lull in the conversation, he notices you. Uh, he gives you a tense smile and says, "Oh, hello, Kenzie. Just talking of some business. You know, I've heard some reports that that area that you were gifted is starting to turn around. Good job."
Thank you. It took beating up a lot of kids.
What doesn't in this day and age? They should be in school, but they're usually slinging drugs, doing drugs, selling guns, or worse.
I'm sorry, this is out of character, but thank you for the perfectly timed Team Kenzie void.
Woo!
So, you were kind enough to help me with learning the English language. So, I was wondering if you would help me learn the Winter Court language.
Will gives you a completely blank look. What are you talking about, Kenzie?
Kenzie Shirley Temple, she takes a long sip out of it through that tiny little stir straw and goes, well, someone said it looks like rain and it doesn't look like rain at all. So I'm pretty sure that it's not going to rain.
One of the courtiers sitting with Will gives him a smirk and nudges him with their elbow. You're not sure whether Will looks annoyed or pleased, or both, possibly. He looks at you again, trying his best to stay blank, but failing. And what makes you think that this is some sort of secret language?
Because someone else said that they had to do their shopping as a response.
What, like a bad spy movie?
Yes. Or at least a completely nonsensical non sequitur. Thanks for those language lessons, by the way.
Well, if you think that people saying things out of turn are suspicious, who am I to say that you shouldn't be investigating? Give Keith my love.
Keith's the one that thinks it's going to rain, or is he the one who has to do the shopping?
You're the one doing this investigation, Knight Morgan.
Got it. Anything else I should be looking for? Is there a plumber in town, perhaps?
Possibly a direct line to an exit, but otherwise, I think you'll be okay.
Thanks, boss. Kenzie walks away.
So, have the other members of the motley been observing?
Yep.
No, I have been explicitly on the other side of the fucking room. This was none of my business, and I don't want this guy to rumble us yet.
I was watching from a reasonable safe distance.
It's okay. He's more suspicious of me than he is of you because of who I am. I'm trying not to rumble us. So, Genzi.
Do I know where this conversation took place? Did you guys point them out to me?
Yes. There's a table with a dude with a hoodie somewhere in the center, and you would recognize a bunch of winter nights there.
Cool. Can I just wander over and ask which one of them is Keith?
That is exactly how you would operate, so yes, of course. At the very least, they'll point you in the right direction.
All right, so Kenzie, what do you want to do?
So I wander over to the indicated table, and I wait until they notice me. I'm listening for any other phrases that might be out of order.
All right, if you're gonna do that, give me a.
Could I
I'll
suggest
say either
wits
wits.
plus... Sorry, wits plus academics was going to be my suggestion.
That would work. I was thinking wits plus politics, but I'll allow either of them.
While she's doing this, I'm specifically watching people's facial reactions, see if I can get anybody who's either reacting more or trying harder than to repress a reaction.
Kenzie, the most open person in stealth court. Cheers. So I got 3 successes.
Alrighty.
And the best part about this is a perfectly sensible thing for Kenzie to be doing under any circumstances. Kenzie's trying to rise up in the world, and knowing the secret Winter Court language would be very important for them under normal circumstances. This is honestly just a great way to go, and no one's going to be suspicious of this, because this is just how Kenzie does. Everyone's just going to assume Kenzie wants to learn the new trick. We couldn't have a better opening if we tried. By the way...
Oh, go on. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Anywhere in here, do we have something resembling a clue, or is this not a proper investigation tonight?
I'm going to say you haven't got to the clues yet.
Worth it? Worth asking?
Sure. Absolutely.
Thank you for subscribing, Premster. Glad to have you along.
Thank you.
So, having sat still and listened in on the conversation for a few moments, the phrase that jumps out the hardest is when one of the knights asks the table at large, does the crow perch on the tree or the tree perch on the crow? To which someone else simply replies, you'd better ask the milkman.
Kenzie has a little flip notebook, like one of the little reporter's notebook, that she writes this down in with a little bar pencil.
Just sitting right next to the code talkers and writing down their code. This is so Kenzie. I love it.
Can you please make me a chance roll, please, Kenzie?
Yes, absolutely.
You're gonna get yourself shot.
I failed.
Several of the knights look up at you, watching you write this down. One of them says, is there anything that we can help you with, fellow knight?
Kenzie also writes that down, but then she realizes she's being asked a question, and she looks up and says, which one of you is Keith?
The big guy in the hoodie turns laboriously to face you. He strikes you as similar in a way to Will, whereas Will is an animated statue made of marble. This fellow here looks like one of the gargoyles on a clock tower, simply walked off and put on a hoodie. His face is weathered granite, and it's nowhere near as responsive as Will's. He slowly looks you up and down. You can hear his eyes grinding in their sockets. He rumbles in a deep voice, and that would be me. What can I help you with? Kenzie Morgan.
Kenzie holds out her hand and says, "I'm Kenzie Morgan, newest Winter Knight. Will sent me to find you and send you his love."
Keith looks over at the knights and rumbles, "Stand down." The king says not to shoot this one. Yet.
Kenzie opens her notebook and writes that down.
I'm dying. I'm dying.
I love this.
And its translation. Will sent me over for language lessons for the Winter Court. Also, at this moment, Kenzie looks over at Will and shoots him a big thumbs up above everyone's head.
The subtlest brick, everyone!
The entire table goes silent for a few moments. Keith rumbles quietly. "And why do you need to learn our language?"
Well, I kind of like it here. But I don't know if I'm ever going to know when it's actually going to rain if I don't know the language.
Everyone at the table looks over to Keith. He nods and gives them a gesture, brushing it off. "Well, I would say congratulations on figuring it out, but I'm not sure you have figured it out. Knight Morgan, what do you think is going on here?"
I think that there is some secret spy stuff, like James Bond, and someone needs to do the shopping, but that might just be an errand that they need to run, though. But it's probably not, because it came after the rain statement. So I'm thinking that there's something going on, and there's like phrases that people use to mean other things, especially like "sends him my love" means don't shoot him, which, thanks. I like that one. But yeah, I think that there's a secret Winter Court language that I should be picking up on. But Will's my mentor, and so he can't really tell me. And I'm supposed to be investigating, and the easiest way to investigate is to ask.
So the gargoyle nods and says, "Okay. Fair enough. You have my ear. And I suppose you've already been talking to Madam Anybody. She's not the official court spy master, but she does have her own intelligence network that is quite sophisticated. Not as sophisticated as what the Winter Court can pull off. I do hope that you understand. You're not supposed to reveal the names of winter nobles. So you will keep your mouth shut. I outrank
Absolutely.
you. He gestures for you to pull up a seat.
Kenzie pulls up a seat in summer court fashion, where it's backwards and she kind of like straddles it because she's now one of the guys.
You have no professional need to learn our cant, so I am not, in fact, going to teach you that. But you wanted to know what was going on. You got most of the way there yourself, and for that I commend you. So, in plain English, what do you want from us?
Well, I mean, I guess I kind of want to know who the winter nobles are.
You've got 1 out of 4. I'm not telling you any others.
You also want to advance in your career. You're rising, you know?
Perfect.
Noticed you freezing.
So, how do I get to become a better knight?
So you sought out and publicly confronted and unmasked one of the winter nobles for basic career advice.
Well, to be fair, I had no clue you were a winter noble. I just thought you were a spy, and I thought that was really cool, to be honest. But this is way cooler. Way cooler. Like orders of magnitude cooler. Um, I just kind of wanted to know what it meant.
And you wanted to get
Well, now
involved.
you well now you know. This is the spy's cant for the winter court. You do not need to know it. You do not work for me. I will not teach you it, as that will make it less secure.
Can I work for you? I'm a really good spy.
Thank you for the gift of a sub void. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sub.
The other winter knights give Keith a look. Even you can tell immediately that that look is not a good one. You have a lot of courage, Morgan, but I can't say that you've made a good impression in terms of stealth. Believe me, I have heard plenty of reports about the things you and your motley get up to, and I wouldn't consider any of you three to be stealthy, least of all you.
Ah, but just think about the things you haven't heard about.
Give me manipulation plus persuasion at a -5, please.
Remember, you're wearing clothes and you're very pretty.
Uh, Kenny, are they drinking?
Yes.
Elliot, can you give me an assistance roll?
Would you let me do that?
At the same -5, yes.
Absolutely. We rock this. So manipulation plus persuasion, was it?
Yes.
6.
So I'm gonna just in passing, I'm gonna walk by Kinsey, whisper in just loud enough so the person next to her can hear, and just slide a piece of paper into their pocket and just say something to the effect of here's the intel that you're asking for, and continue walking.
One success.
Well, congratulations. That is a success. Keith looks all around the table from night to night to night. You thought that Will had a good blank expression, a good poker face. But Keith's poker face is perhaps the best one that you could imagine. It helps that most of his features are somewhat eroded and that he is already not very expressive. You can hear the grind of stone on stone as his eyes swivel from around the table, looking each night in turn. Then his face breaks out into a big smile, full of gray granite teeth. Why not? You can help us out a little, and if it gets you killed, then that is, in and of itself, a service to the court.
Sounds great. What am I doing?
Can you roll me a perception check?
That's what's plus composure, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I believe you get a +2 because I think you've got all your clarity together.
Oh, I do.
Sorry, I tried to talk fast enough.
3 total successes.
Out of the corner of your eye, you see the knights who would probably assume they're not in your field of vision, gesturing wildly, shaking their heads, going things like this, trying to say no.
This cartoon-ass moment brought to you by Kenzie Morgan.
The grin on Keith's face seems to get a little sinister, if it wasn't already pretty sinister. You want some work? Fine. It's come to our attention that there has been a police detail staking out court headquarters at the dump. You want some work? Find out what they know and get rid of it.
Sure. Sounds like a Tuesday.
Well, if you live or don't get arrested, I'll be glad to hear what you found.
Thanks, big man. Kenzie stands up, flips the chair around, pushes it back into the table, and starts walking away. specifically patting on the shoulder, the one that she caught doing the big no gesture.
Alrighty, heading back to the others.
Yep.
All right, so we leave before we have any more conversation. We're getting the fuck out of this room first. I think we're getting to the car. Anything that had in that conversation that we might not know, I don't want that slipping where somebody who knows we're not supposed to hear it can hear it, you know?
Yep.
Alright, so you guys are heading out to the parking lot.
Yep. I climb
Yeah.
into the vehicle and wait till everyone's sat down. So, yeah. Hey, Gray. Welcome to chat.
I typed it, but also welcome in.
All right. So, don't tell us because we're probably not supposed to know. But do we have anything we're supposed to be doing right now?
Yes. There is rain on the Spain and plain. Wait, there's rain on the plains in Spain.
I get the feeling that they haven't gone over much of it with you.
Nope, just things I'm not allowed to tell you and things I'm supposed to do.
So let's talk about the things you're supposed to do.
We take a look around and make sure no one can see us or hear us.
Alright, perception.
Actually,
Can someone else roll that?
Yeah.
Tibbs, could you
Yeah.
check if our car is bugged real quick?
Yes. That's the first thing I'm going to do. Perception roll or investigation roll for that?
For the looking for bugs,
Yes.
investigation.
Okay. Well, in that case, three successes.
You can't find any sort of bugs or anything, no.
Okay.
All right. Then let's...
And-
sorry.
Okay. And then as we're pulling out, I'm going to see if there's if we have I'm going to see if we have a tail.
Alrighty. That will be the perception, I suppose.
Okay.
So, what do we need to do? Because we don't know. And if there's not a bug in the car, we can talk freely.
Mm-hmm.
There doesn't appear to be anyone following you.
Listen, I prefer to waste a roll and be paranoid. Kenzie, what's the job?
There are cops staking out the headquarters at the dump. We need to find out what they know and get rid of it, or any evidence they have.
Got it. So, do we want to go to the police station, or do you want me to step in with some donuts and go say hi to whoever I know there? I've got 3 dots in contacts police, so I probably know at least somebody. I spent a month making a lot of friends. And if there's ever going to be a moment where I can at the very least keep them busy while you're stealing their shit, now is the time.
What I think is we go to the dump first. We bring in a load. I'll sneak out of the car and stealth to listen to what they're griping about in the car so that we can figure out what we need to target when we go to the cops. Does that make sense?
Fair
So
enough.
you guys are gonna head into the dump first?
Yeah. Sounds good.
Figure out what exactly operations are going on and thus what we need to be looking for evidence of.
Yeah, so they said that there were cops in the car staking out the dump headquarters. So I figure every movie has cops in a car sitting and griping about what they're there to watch for.
So you want to go sneak in and observe the stakeout, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Okay, and once you've done that, if you want, I'll go in and see if I can't get them to talk openly after, because I can get a box of donuts out of petty cash, and we can just have me walk in and try and say hello.
Yeah, that works.
So you get in first, and then signal when you want me to make the approach.
Well, the three of you know the way to the dump pretty well by now. Kenzie, you want to do drive in?
Yeah, I'm not going to be driving though.
I think you're the only one who knows how to drive.
I think that is in fact the case. Do we want to take a different route there? Because I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure we can get to the dump the other way.
In a
Yeah.
garbage truck?
Uh,
Through the mirrors.
yeah, I think
Oh.
we've set a mirror there. I also think we could just find one of the almost certain gates there. You know, and
Right.
just go through the hedge.
Yeah, the freehold does maintain trods to the various court territories around the city. You've used them before.
I'd like to do something real quick here. Can we use the mirror?
Yeah, why not?
Sure.
Okay. Kenny, I would like to use mirror walk. Now, under normal circumstances, it costs a glamour and a willpower to do this. If I'm investigating something sent by the Fae, it costs 1 glamour less. Is it still costing me glamour?
I don't get what you're asking.
He's asking if the cops are here because of the fucking Fae.
Or something
And he's
from
trying
the
to
Fae?
find out mechanically.
Well, that's one heck of a way to do it. But
Kit would
it's
know
clever.
how. Kit would know that that's how his mantle works. So if he would notice whether or not the glamour was taken by the weird.
Okay, well, congratulations. It wasn't.
Okay.
Hey, mundane cops is mundane cops. That makes it all the easier because I've got friends in high places.
Wait, it wasn't to do with the Fae or it wasn't taken.
It wasn't taken.
So it is to do with fairy bullshit.
Okay.
Perfect.
See, we have a bit of information. All right, let me roll my wits and survival here.
This gotta be the dumbest way we've gotten a clue yet, kids.
Is that a clue, Kenny?
Is anything we've gotten a clue.
Technically, you haven't even actually begun the investigation into Will's mental state. You've wandered off onto something else. So no, it's not.
Well, do we want to do this another day so that we can go investigate Will's mental state?
Let's take care of the cops real quick.
This will take me 5 minutes if you just let me bring some donuts in, and you can steal all their shit.
Okay, let's just go to the cops then.
Let's knock this out. Means that we've got a way of getting you a talk with Keith proper that might get some answers. Though, of course, trying to get secrets out of a spy master feels like we're going to be climbing a little uphill.
Okay.
So let's go.
Okay. 4 successes to get there through the mirrors.
All right, congratulations. Welcome to the dump. As usual, It's bustling with winter court activity, even after the sun is set.
I, in possession of a box of donuts and a pleasant expression, awaits Kenzie to get in place.
Kenzie stills herself with Cloak of Night and just walks up next to the car.
All right. Well, give me a chance roll, please.
Yes, I also have my Winter Court mantle, which is minus my mantle dots for them to notice me when I'm deliberately spying.
All right. Well, I was going to have you roll for that, but not at the moment. But keep that mantle bonus in mind.
I rolled a 10 on the die.
Congratulations. Finding the cops isn't all that difficult. There isn't any cop cars around, but there is an incredibly generic sedan that has had all identifying markers removed, including the manufacturer logo, so you can't actually tell what make it is. They couldn't have screamed, "We're undercover cops," harder than if they had, except for turning on sirens. There are two men in the cop car, chatting to one another. So, how long have you been on the investigation, Parker? I got put on after Estevez was taken off, so I've only been working this case since mid-October. But we've made most of the progress that we've made so far since Estevez left anyway. So why are we concerned with what's going on at the dump? Says the other younger cop. Well, a dump's probably not going to be open after business hours, you'd imagine. Correct? Yeah, says the younger guy. And you wouldn't think that sanitation would be a business that pays especially well, would you? Well, it's got to pay some, but I don't know how much it would pay. Do you think it would pay enough to afford a $3 million mansion up north? No, absolutely do not. Well, the guy who owns this place, that's where he lives. He's got a security detail. What kind of guy uh, who works in sanitation for real actually has something like that? Oh, so you think that he works in sanitation then? Yeah, obviously. Since we've positioned Jones within the estate, we've gotten a little more information. Like I said, we've got most of the evidence in the case over the last few weeks. There's some interesting stuff coming from the estate. Apparently, there was a memo passed around to all the staff in the middle of August to block the big guy's psychiatrist's number and not let her through. And that's a clue because he's losing it, man. You've seen that guy. He passes him the binoculars. He's not there now, but you've looked through that window how many times? Gotta be a few dozen now, Part. Yeah, we'll take another look. The younger cop looks through the glasses, through the binoculars, and says, "What am I seeing?" Look at the far wall of his office. There's nothing there, Parker. Exactly. Where's that big ass board with all the strings? He took it home last week. After that, the conversation devolves into small talk.
So you're up next to the car, right, Kenzie?
Yep.
Um,
So, what was your bonus and to not being discovered? Because now it's time to make that roll.
-5.
All right. Then this will be a opposed roll. Dexterity plus stealth versus their perception. You are not discovered.
God damn.
The older cop mentions that he's got a feeling that he's being watched, and the younger cop tells him that's nonsense. So he dismisses it.
So, you want me to go drop off some donuts and ask some questions, or are we just going?
Well, what do you guys think is best?
So they've gotten a bunch of evidence recently because there is someone that's made it into Will's staff,
I believe they said Jones, didn't they?
Jones specifically, yeah.
That was the name, Kenny?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
And
so one, that's the name Will wants to know, and we can use to get closer to Will, but we're not going back with that yet.
No.
Two, these guys have not gotten in evidence tonight, but they have been getting evidence, which means we have some things that we could get without having to break into Will's mansion.
Oh, by the way, take a clue.
Hey, sweet.
The police
About the psychiatrist?
Yeah.
Two, the police station has two things that we want. One, a photograph of that board. Two, the number of his psychiatrist, and possibly recordings of phone calls, depending on when they got started on this investigation. So we need to go to the police station. Are you up for robbing an evidence locker, Kenzie?
When am I not?
Because I think it's time to do some glad handing. And boy, are my hands glad today. Kit. Can you be extremely annoying and bad at filling out a form?
I have some ideas of how I can be distracting. Yes.
Because what I want to do is send you two down to the lockup where the evidence locker is going to be, and I want you to be extremely irritating while Kenzie is robbing them. And I'm going to try and just get answers from people about things.
Okay.
I figure between us, someone's going to walk away with something. I want, bare minimum, a photo of that string board, if we can get it, and the psychiatrist's number. Ideally, as well, his address, but I'm not holding out hope for all three. I don't really want to break into Will's house. I feel like that is going to be extremely dangerous, and I want to do that last. But if we can get the evidence file together, we can pass that off to Keith. We can have what we need from that for our own personal investigation. And the fact that nobody's going to have rumbled us will prove that Kenzie is actually capable of a certain amount of subtlety, which will improve their impression in court. All around, positive things. So, I think it's off to the police station whenever you feel like coming back, Kenzie.
Okay. Do I have any fruit on me? Is there any fruit in the hammer space?
There absolutely is.
I'd like to go for the old axle and throw some bananas in the tailpipe before I leave.
So not goblin fruit, huh? I thought that you meant goblin fruit. I assume that if you wanted to put snacks in the hollow, you absolutely could have.
We obviously would keep some mundane food there because if we eat nothing but goblin fruit during a time we're trapped in there, we're going to go super low clarity, super duper fast.
I think I specifically put snacks on the list.
So a banana is not unreasonable. And what can a banana cost? $10? Anyways,
I wouldn't normally make a roll for this, but since you are attempting to sabotage the car with the banana, I am going to ask you to roll wits plus crafts.
could I suggest wits plus larceny?
That makes sense to me. The old reverse pickpocket.
Planting something silently.
3 successes.
Congratulations, you've shoved the banana in the car's tailpipe without anyone noticing.
Perfect. Now I make my way back to my friends here.
All right, and I assume that you're letting them know what you found?
Yes. But not while we're in the dump.
Yeah, we're gonna gather up and get out of there and head on over to the police station. While in transit, we're going to talk about what we've learned. And all right, so we need to go get this evidence file.
And how are you going to go? Because you didn't bring your car.
That's an excellent question.
Why don't I go back to court and get the car?
You got another mirror trip in you? Or do I need to get on my little scooter and go get it for us?
Yeah, give me a sec. I'll go ahead and make that roll. It's plus survival. That's 1 success. It's enough.
All right, congratulations. You guys head back to court through the mirrorways.
We climb into the vehicle and go take a quick stop for more donuts than I had originally planned to have in my possession, and go swing by the police officers. Nothing like a late night run with snacks to get you on some people's good side and cover the other people entering the building around the same time as you.
Yep.
Kenny, before we get too much further into this, how many clues does this investigation have?
If you want scope of the investigation, let's see. I wrote out 5, but you can figure it out with 4.
Let's try and get the
Okay.
5, though. So let's
Mhm.
keep going. We know about the psychiatrist not getting answers for the last little while. We know that there's a board here. Um, we know that there's some sort of investigation going on here. Let's
Yeah.
figure out what the cops are doing. I'm going to try and get at it my way. You guys go get it yours. We'll see what all we get. Sound good?
Yeah.
All right. Well, to cover the stealthy entrance of my compatriots, I am going to walk in with a big ol' low tier air kind of bribe that everyone sort of accepts. Nice food at the wrong time of night. And just try and get myself in the door and walk into places that I shouldn't be able to because these people know me and trust me. Would you take a socialize plus presence?
Makes sense to me. And let's see. So the North Las Vegas Police Department headquarters is pretty close to the dump as it is. It's a 2-story building near the north, right across from the North Las Vegas Municipal Court. And like a lot of the things in Vegas, it is open late. So, Elliot walks in with a box of donuts, correct?
Yep.
All right, what are you saying?
Hey guys, noticed I was passing by this place and hadn't been by in a while. I thought you guys might deserve a treat after such a hard day's work. Come on. Here, take some. I'm gonna bring some around back to the others. I know you guys are stuck at your desks way too late these days. Just assume my way past any security.
Alrighty. And I want to go ahead and ask, since you actually have contacts with the Las Vegas police,
Mm-hmm.
are you going to be using your merit?
Yes, I am. That is my goal is to get myself be distracting at the door and then get myself in front of somebody who might give me some answers. But this is mostly a big show, so nobody notices, say, 2 people walking in behind me.
Alrighty. So Elliot is waved onwards with his box of donuts after the folks at the front desk take their share. So let's talk to the others. While Elliot is wandering directly into police HQ, what are the 2 of you doing?
When we step in, what do we, or when I step in, rather, for the through the front door, what am I seeing? Like, does the front desk seem to be moving with Elliot, or are they staying at the front desk?
The desk officer is staying at the desk.
I am, however, occupying his vision for at least a little while with a giant box of donuts.
Okay.
You've got some clear mobility if you take advantage of it.
Yep. So, okay, I'm just trying to figure out how I'm getting through here. So, at the front desk, where does the um how do I get back? I guess is what I'm asking.
So the evidence lockup is probably going to be right down next to where they keep all the prisoners, a thing that normal people are allowed to visit. You just need to walk down there. It's this one who needs to not get seen by anybody, because your job is to be a distraction. At least that was my thought.
Yeah, I'm asking what you're planning on doing. You walked into the front area. Uh, Elliot is distracting the front desk, but what are you and Kinsey actually doing?
I personally am transubstantiating into shadow under cloak of darkness.
And then you can just walk in Kit's shadow, all his way down into the lockup.
Great. So, are you just going into the lockup then, Kit, or what are you doing?
I'm a private investigator, so I would know the proper procedure for going down there. But me, the player, does not know offhand. Does that mean do I need to check in to visit a prisoner, or do I just walk down there?
So, are you going to the evidence locker, or are you going into the prison, or, I mean, the jail, or what? I don't know what you are doing.
I'm
I do
going
not
into
know.
the evidence lockup.
So you want to go there and try and get your hands on some evidence for your case. Make a big show out of it.
Okay.
So, Kit, explain to me what you're doing, and I will work with you.
I don't know.
Okay, let's
Okay,
go.
so
This
neither of us know what you're doing.
so where I'm at right now, this just kind of happened. I don't know how we got here, if I'm being honest. I don't know how I can't bullshit my way through this because I have no social skills, and I can't stealth my way through this because I have no stealth skills.
Uh,
I have to be honest if I'm going to be be doing any kind of decent dice pools here. So what I'm gonna so actually
Can
I'm just gonna walk up to the front desk and say that I'm here to as part of an investigation on Will, and show my credentials as a private investigator.
Can I talk for just a second, Tibbs?
Yes.
So here's what I was trying to tell you to do, and I did a bad job. I want you to go down into the evidence lockup and talk to the person there and try and get literally anything from them. Not even about this case. Just occupy his attention while he's getting robbed. And you want to know what? I do know that you have a decent intimidate score. I need you to Karen for me. Do you think you can Karen?
Okay. So, what I'm going to do is I am going instead of Karen, I am going to lean into my detective and investigator persona, lay my credentials down on the desk, and say I'm here as part of an investigation on Will, and I need to speak to the person in charge of that investigation.
Okay.
All right, thank you. That is what I was asking when I was asking, what are you doing? Because you were not telling me clearly. You were asking where things were, which is fine. I don't know.
I got rushed into this. I didn't have a chance to give any kind of feedback. This just happened to me, so I'm winging it.
I do apologize. I was just trying to send you down with Kenzie to help Kenzie out.
That's nice. I can't help there.
Okay.
All right. After Elliot heads back into the department, Kit goes to talk to the front desk, and he is and he is referred to the detective in charge of the case, A1 Milton Black. They are told that the detective's office is on the second floor, room 215.
Okay. Okay. So I will start making my way there. So I'll start making my way there. I
That is all right. I'm sorry. Apparently this has gone incredibly off the rails. Would you guys like me to call tonight?
No?
no, not at all. So okay. So okay, let's take a step back here. And basically how I saw this happening was I I don't feel like I was consulted in this plan. Okay? And it feels like there was a assumption that I could do something that I don't feel I can.
So do you want to talk to the detective in charge, like you were suggesting?
Yes. I'm no the I'm sorry. Yes. I'm going to go uh I'm going to go talk to the detective.
Alright. So, I do apologize, Kit. I was trying to give you an opportunity to participate in what I thought were the two most straightforward ways of dealing with this problem.
Mhm.
And I thought, very simply, you've got an intimidate check, you've got some things you can do to do an assist roll for getting Kenzie past security. And
Okay.
that's what I thought we were doing. And I thought I had explained that, and I didn't.
Okay. So then I misunderstood because
Because what I was
the
trying to do was just make you occupy some attention while Kenzie was trying to get past locked doors.
so um okay.
But you are now on a entirely different path, so you follow that one. I'm going to go talk to whoever my best friend here is and get some answers. You're going to see if you can get them to talk about the case, and Kenzie is going to go rob the evidence lockup. And one of us is going to get an answer.
Hopefully, all of us.
Hopefully, all of us.
All right. Well, we'll go back to Kinsey and Elliot in a moment because what they are going to do is going to be an extremely straightforward thing that involves a roll or two.
Mhm.
You wanted to talk to Detective Milton Black.
Yes.
So you head up to the detective's office. Uh, there is an elderly gentleman there, uh, swarthy complexion, uh, salt and pepper hair, uh, going through a stack of paperwork. He looks up when you walk in and nods. I heard the front desk gave me a buzz. They said there was a private investigator coming here regarding the investigation into one Will Rodon. How can I help you?
Well, long story short, I'm investigating a missing person, and his name kept coming up. Rumor has it that he's on your radar.
Can I see your credentials before we go any further, please?
Yeah, show him my credentials.
They are legit. So, Detective Black looks over, punches in the number in the database, and then hands back your credentials. Satisfied? there's not a whole lot that I can tell you about the subject of an ongoing investigation, but yes, he is under investigation, and I can't say I'm surprised that you've been put onto his scent over a missing person.
At that point, I'll name I'll I'm sorry. Uh, okay. Does the name was it Sister Mary? Does the name Sister Mary mean anything to you?
Uh, it, Mary Manson.
Yeah, that's my apologies. Mary Manson.
Well, I've never established whether she went by that name as a changeling only or in her day-to-day life. So roll me a chance die, please, and we'll figure that out.
Okay.
We have gotten. Never mind.
That's a 10.
We did find out her pre-changeling name, but whether she went back to that is another question.
Hmm.
And I'm going to say no, she did not. So Detective Black peeks up a bit. One of the things we are investigating is the disappearance of a pastor at a local alternative Christian church. The way he puts emphasis on it, you get the feeling that he is trying to politely say cult. She disappeared recently. While we don't have a lot connecting them, it is a hunch of mine that Mr. Rodan was involved. He gives you a smile as if feeling vindicated to hear it coming from you as well.
I don't have any solid evidence, but yes, I agree with your intuitions.
So what can I do you for? Did you come here to compare notes?
Yeah, basically I was hoping see if we can get some kind of information on I was hoping to see if you had anything more substantial to connect the will to the sister and a few other people that have popped up on my radar as going missing.
So the detective strokes his chin and then says, why the hell not? He hands you over some of the papers from his desk. There is an extensive profile here.
Mm-hmm.
Rodan was we don't have a whole lot, but Rodan was a complete mystery man until the middle of August. At some point there, things changed and he stopped being as careful. And we got some information. We have someone on the inside, and I hope you realize that by sharing this information with you, I'm asking you not to share it with anyone else. And that someone on the inside has found these. He pulls open a drawer and pulls out an evidence bag. We think this might be the reason he's been so much less careful lately. He hands over the bag to you. There's about half a dozen assorted psych meds in the bag. These are the larger bottles, 90-day supplies. They seem to be about halfway empty. And looking at the prescription dates, you see that they were all prescribed, all last filled sometime in June.
So these should have all been consumed by now.
These office meds. So,
Take a clue, by the way.
thank you.
I'm just gonna need you to write down in character the pharmacy that was getting filled at and the name of the drug he's on. We don't need to know that out of character, but that's something I want you to have written down in character.
Yeah, I'm gonna jot down the prescription, the dosage, and if possible, the which pharmacy was filling it, and I think this. So, turning to the detective, this actually helps explain a number of concerning behaviors we've heard of, that I've heard about about him. Once I get something more concrete, I will be reaching out.
I'll be holding you to that. All right.
There's a gentleman downstairs with some donuts. If you want to go grab some, and I turn around and walk out.
Alrighty, so let's go to the other two. Elliot, since you are going to be using your contacts here, what the contacts rules say about this is gathering information via contacts requires a manipulation plus social skill roll, depending on the method you use and your relationship between the characters. I'm going to be considering the nature of this investigation, I'm going to be giving you a -2, and manipulation plus whatever social skill you feel appropriate.
I think socialize with rumors is probably going to work, would you say?
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
All right.
So make your rolls and describe to me what you're doing.
And you said -2, right?
Yep.
Reroll 9. This is really important, right? Like, really important, right, guys?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm spending a willpower to make this a road action. God, I love that cat. So basically what I'm trying to do is get people to open up what they've heard about the case. I've got a bribe here. I'm a upstanding member of the community, and I spent a month glad-handing and passing out bribes. There's got to be somebody dirty in Vegas who's willing to talk. Exceptional success.
All right. So, while making your way around, passing out donuts and chatting with everyone that you know here, which is quite a few people. Uh, you, it seems like you're going to come up empty. Until you run into an officer that you know is for certain is on the take. An officer Costanza. Uh, with a handful of donuts and a handful of exchanged favors. Um, he's able to slip you something that he had pocketed from Detective Black's office. It's a small binder that's full of transcribed answering machine messages from Will's voicemail service. A look over them shows that while there are some business ones and some ones for people related to the freehold, and maybe even a couple of personal ones that you don't recognize, the bulk of these are unanswered messages um, regarding unattended sessions at his cognitive behavioral therapist. Um, the most interesting thing in here is in addition to what you've seen about the missed therapist appointments, there's also um, some notes regarding uh, the nature of Will's prescriptions and his diagnosis. It seems he has paranoid personality disorder.
Checks out.
So
I,
take your clue there.
Mr. Costanza, I leave with another handshake involving a few Benjamin Franklin's pictures and head on out the door with an empty, setting the remainder of the donuts on an unattended desk.
All right, Kinsey, you were going to rob the evidence lockup, correct?
Yep.
I'm going to need. Well, you're invisible, so that's fine, but I'm going to need a dexterity plus larceny. When you get to the evidence lockup, you find a handful of unattended lockers behind a chicken wire fence locked with several padlocks. To get through, it'll be dexterity plus larceny.
2 successes.
All right. Kinsey gets through the evidence lockup. A period of searching turns up a locker full of recent evidence regarding this investigation. A lot of it is nothing new to you, and you find duplicates of the information that the others have got. But the thing that jumps out to you is a binder full of photographs of Will's estate. They're organized by room. The most important of these are the ones that are marked photographs of the panic room. There's a good 24 of this room in particular, and it is a small room, about 10 by 6. The most standout feature being the conspiracy board along one wall. Looking through here, there's detailed pictures of the board, every item on it, and everything nearby. So take yourself a clue.
Awesome.
Thank you.
That is 4 clues, 1 element each.
We've got an hour left, kids. I want to go for the last one, and I think I know where we can get it.
All right, so I get out of there with the binder in tow.
All right, that I'm going to have you make a dexterity plus stealth roll for. You are invisible, but I'm going to give you a -1 due to circumstances.
Carrying a large, awkward binder full of evidence through a police station.
Two successes.
All right. Kenzie is able to get back out of the police station and back to the meeting point. Did you guys bring the car? So I assume, if you so, I assume that's your meeting point.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Is everyone else going to meet up at the car?
Yep.
Yep.
I'm already waiting. Got all my stuff in there.
Yep.
All right.
So, I've got some interesting names.
I got some interesting prescriptions.
I've got some interesting photos.
You know, last time somebody told me that, I had to give them like $600.
I mean, if you want to give me $600, I'm just a poor broke winter courtier.
So, here's what I got. From the sounds of it, we know that he's off his meds and he's not seeing his psychiatrist, who knows the most about what's going on in his head right now. There's 2 places we could get more information, and that's either breaking into his house, which I don't want to do, or getting it directly from the horse's mouth at his psychiatrist. Now, it's the middle of the fucking night. That dude's probably not awake, and is certainly not going to be interested in talking about one of his richest clients who's not been seeing him to someone he doesn't know from Adam. We could fix that with the right kind of conversation, but I think it would be an uphill battle. But there is another way to get that information.
Oh?
We're changelings and we can go visit Dreamland. Psychiatrists have pretty early hours, so he's going to be out by now. Why don't we go try and find him in the gate past the gates of Ivory, and see if we can't pry his notes on Will out of his head. Yeah, that, or we could go rob his place. You know, whatever you guys are feeling like.
What do you think, Tibbs?
Well, going to the dreams is always fun.
I don't know how to ask this more politely. Kenny, is either of those not an option that you want to deal with this evening?
That's not my decision.
Yes, but trying to be fair here.
Let's do dreams.
This doesn't seem like something he's going to be fighting too hard, and I don't think it's a changeling psychiatrist, unless one of us recognized the name out of nowhere.
Yeah, the name that you've been given in here, this isn't a changeling. It appears to be some random mortal that he was likely assigned.
I don't think he's the sort who would see a changeling psychiatrist. He'd assume that they were a threat. So I guess he'd go after a perfectly mundane one if he was going to see one at all. So let's go and visit them and figure out what's going on in his head and what happened in August. Because they should probably at least have an idea of the identifying feature. Shall we?
We shall.
All right, so we've got this doctor's name from my documents. We've got their phone number. I can probably do some reverse lookups on that if I need to.
Snuberette, what is your entitlement? Will your entitlement help us here at all?
Let me see what bennies I get from that. My apologies. Just a sec here.
You're 11 quick, right? Or no?
Me?
Yeah. No, it's not 11 quick. It was something else.
Uh, Flicker Flash.
That was it.
But that's my kit, not my entitlement.
Right. Sorry.
Um, okay, so I have the library merit, and I believe that's really it. I think I have one other benefit that I choose. Yeah,
You've got the
the yeah the
Spyglass?
the eyeglass of providence. Yeah.
Would that be useful on what we're doing? I don't know how it works
This is
offhand.
it is token. Uh, okay, give me a sec here. Upon activation, the great detective can look through the eyeglass of providence at a person and roll dice equal to wits plus current rating in this token to learn one of the target's anchors, aspirations, or current conditions of the user's choice. Two on an exceptional success. The great detective can also activate Eyeglass Providence to add additional dice to a roll to the number equal to the number of clues they or their motley possesses for an ongoing investigation to a social roll made against anybody involved in the investigation.
Okay.
So yeah,
Well,
that's handy.
we're probably going to be making a social roll to the psychiatrist to pry those loose from his skull, so let's head to the Gate of Ivory and start looking for this dude. We've got his
Yeah.
name. We've got some details about him. I could probably dig up some details about him since he's a registered psych. He's going to have his stuff up somewhere.
All right.
Would I be able to get a name so I can stop speaking about them so vaguely?
That would be Byron McMahon.
All right, so let's go find Byron. We're going to head over to the Gates of Ivory and start looking for Byron McMahon's dreams. We have an incredible investigator and somebody who's got good hedge sense, so I'm going to say somewhere in between there you guys can probably lead this one and I'll help as best I can.
Sounds good.
Alrighty. Mm, I'm gonna need a hedge navigation roll.
Alrighty. And I believe Ginsey has some stuff for that, yeah?
Hedge nav is just whatever I want it to be, right?
Whatever you can justify.
Yeah. It's basically a chase. Except I'm not going to have a chase happen, just the one roll.
Okay, I'd like to do dexterity plus weaponry to hack our way through the brambles.
Sounds like a plan.
Alrighty.
Let me assist you real quick. 3 dice.
And you guys were specifically looking for Dr. McMahon's bastion.
Yes.
Are you assisting with this one, Tibbs, or are you sitting it out?
I don't really have a dice pool for this.
Okay, no problem.
Alrighty.
4 successes.
So, armed with the knowledge of the bastion you seek, the motley sets out, hacking their way through the hedge for the most direct path. The three of you pass through the gate to the Dreaming Roads, and before too long, you manage to find the bastion you're looking for squirreled down a far-off trod. It appears to be a single room from a hallway, as if someone had taken a slice out of an office building and put it here in the hedge. The door is glass and has Dr. Byron McMahon, PhD in psychiatry, on the door.
Well, dreaming about work. Huh. Well, do we want to just bash our way in there? Or do you want to try and clever it out?
I have an idea.
Yeah?
On a piece of paper, I write down a simple prescription.
Okay. Gonna try and walk through the door?
Yep.
You know what? Since you're going to just see if this is the key, give me a chance roll, please.
No!
Yeah,
As no
unfortunately,
as it's possible to be.
unfortunately, the door to the bastion remains firmly locked.
Alright. Excuse me, extremely clever person sitting to my direct right. Would you mind helping us figure this one out?
You can always force your way through by, let's see. The roll to break into a bastion is manipulation plus empathy. Well, no, that's the roll for determining the fortification rating, excuse me.
I don't think any of us are particularly good at that one. Maybe Kenzie.
Yeah, in order to get into a bastion through a brute force, you need to make a dream weaving roll with a number of successes higher than the fortification rating.
Okay. So, do you guys want to try and figure out the key, or do we want to just try and bash our way in there?
Let's go ahead. I would say let's brute force our way in, honestly.
Alright. In which case, we've got a door. I'm gonna just make a key. How about, wits plus crafts or dex plus crafts?
All right, that
Tibbs,
sounds
do you want to
good to
lead
me.
that one or shall I? Both of us are good at this.
Don't you get a bonus to
Help people?
assist? Yeah.
Always, but this is far from mundane, and I don't think I get it right now.
Okay.
I think this is about as unmundane as it gets.
Okay, so wits plus crafts.
Yep.
All right.
Do
let
you
me assist you on this one.
All right.
I mean, making a key is pretty mundane.
Yeah, I'm
Can
not
I?
giving you that one.
Okay.
All right. So a sec.
While it comes up a lot, it is not always.
Okay, 3 successes.
And
one from me.
So that brings me up to 11 with a reroll of 9. With 4 successes. These are Fey ingredients on my crafting roll, so this counts as an exceptional success. Because there is literally nothing here but Fey ingredients.
All right. Since you do need to make a paradigm shift in order to break in, you have managed to do so and gained the Dream Infiltrator condition. The key formed of the hedge stuff fits the lock, and you are able to open it. Inside, you see a chic, expensive-looking office lobby. Nice chairs, a small water fixture on a table, and a highly paid, disinterested secretary who's eyeing you up suspiciously.
So, we have a couple of options here. We can just try and bash our way to the answer, or we can try and get him to just say it in character.
Who has good subterfuge?
Weirdly enough, not me.
Kinsey. Okay. So, I would like to do a magic spell, so wits plus occult roll to change Kinsey's appearance to Will's appearance.
Are you doing a subtle shift or a paradigm shift?
I believe there's one explicitly for causing one Eidolon to appear as another.
Yes.
Oh, romance.
Can I argue that that would be an equipment, an effective equipment bonus to their subterfuge for the sake of expedience?
That works for me. Yes.
Okay. So that is going to be. I'm sorry. Let me do the actual. Where is on this? No, it's not. Okay. Eight successes.
So, you can make any subtle shift you like, or you can make most paradigm shifts.
Okay. I'm going to go with the original plan. So Kinsey has an illusion about them that makes them appear to be Will, that gives them a +5 equipment bonus to subterfuge to trick people.
Subterfuge.
Yeah. And also, I have, I believe, 2 more successes that I can bank, because it costs 1 to bank, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's me.
The realm of dreams are an excellent place for random nonsense magic to work. So magicking up a disguise for Kinsey is not difficult. The disguise put in place, the suspicion seems to fade from the eyes of the receptionist. She simply nods in recognition and says, "Mr. Rodin, here for your appointment."
I suppose I have to be.
Or is that to me or the NPC?
The NPC. I'm doing my best to keep my face like completely stone as Will's would be.
All right, give me a manipulation plus subterfuge roll, please.
Remember, you've got a massive bonus going right now. However, I don't think we can do anything to assist, really.
How much is that bonus?
+5.
+5.
Two successes.
All right. The receptionist nods politely and points you down the hall.
I walk with a gait not unlike Will's.
Are the others coming with you?
I think we're security under the best interpretation of this. Do you think he'd let security into the room? Will seems like the kind of person who wouldn't let his security into his session, so I think we're sitting out in the hallway. You got this one, Kenzie?
Yeah, if that's okay with you guys.
Absolutely.
Take the spotlight.
This is your shot.
So stand outside the door to the room that I'm going to be in.
Yes. Make noise if you need us.
Will do.
Because there's always the bash it out and give this guy a bad night.
All right. So entering the psychiatrist room, the rest of the motley forming up outside. You're in a room lined with bookshelves on all sides. A man sits at a desk. He's bald with a auburn goatee and expensive-looking glasses and clothes. He gestures towards one of the couches in the room and says, "Sit, Mr. Rodin. So, we're on your time today. What did you want to discuss?"
I know I don't often ask for it, but I think I'd like to hear your opinion about what happened in August.
Roll manipulation plus subterfuge, please.
Seven successes with a willpower.
I love having experts.
Dr. McMahon shuffles through his papers and says, "Well, if I remember correctly, Mr. Rodin, you were talking to me at that time about a business dealing that you had had with a former friend of yours. You told me that you had been very close to this Mr. Jack Gerge previously. Is that correct?"
Yes.
As I understand it, from what you've told me, after the disaster at the Royal Flush Casino, there was a business meeting between your organization and his about some sort of aid. You were not explicit about that. But the things that you had to say about this meeting, I'll be blunt, Mr. Rodon. It seems to me as if you're going out of your way to put blame for unconnected events at the foot of this former friend of yours. What you have told me about the meeting makes it seem as though he was nothing but polite. But the things that you've told me that you believe he done, they are very in line with delusions brought about by your PPD. I believe we should raise your dose on the antipsychotics.
Which antipsychotics?
He gives you a small list of prescriptions.
So,
And would being without these medications make me shake?
Yes, that is a side effect from going off them suddenly, yes.
And I would be irrational and irritable and hard to pin down.
That sounds like you're suggesting a mixture of side effects and symptoms of PPD. But yes, between the two of them.
And what have I told you about my home?
Very little, Mr. Rodon. You did tell me that you couldn't bring yourself to get rid of the pictures of this Mr. Jack and a third friend. A Kurt, you said? You said that the three of you used to be very close and that you couldn't get rid of their pictures, no matter how much you wanted to.
Out of character, what else should I be asking, guys?
you should be asking Kenny out of character whether or not you've gotten yourself a clue yet, and if not, we're going to provide you some more questions.
Yes, you have gotten the clue. One element, please.
I believe that sets us to 5 in a position to solve. Kenzie, do you want to ask more questions out of curiosity, or would you like to wrap your way out of this session? Because I have a few more things we could ask.
I kind of want to ask about the panic room, but I don't think he's going to know anything about it.
You should ask him if Will's talked about any significant others.
And what do you think of my love life?
I don't believe you ever mentioned that, Mr. Rodon.
I've never mentioned a love life at all?
No.
Anyone else significant to me?
Other than the friends of yours that you have lost contact with, you don't mention much of anyone outside of your own employees and associates.
Can I ask him if he's heard about Kenzie?
I think he's explicitly said he's not mentioned anybody recently, other than his old friends.
Oh, that's true. Okay.
So it sounds like the last thing to ask is simply this. I've been having trouble attending sessions and not wanting to take my pills. What do you think is the best path forward for me to get myself back on track?
Yeah, I say that verbatim.
Listen, if we can get an honest to God psychiatrist's advice, like, probably will be useful later.
All right, so you're just going to straight up ask.
Yeah. So I've been having problems attending sessions and taking my pills. What do you think is the best path forward?
Mr. O'Don, I can't make you care about your mental health, but it seems like you care at least enough to ask my advice on this. You need to take your medication. You need to go to see me, and you need to attend your cognitive behavioral therapy. You have severe paranoid personality disorder. If you wish to have a normal life at all, you need to take care of yourself. If you feel that there's a reason that you don't want to take your pills or attend your therapy and psychiatric sessions, then I would say you need to think about whether that's a good reason and whether what you're doing is productive.
Were there any other questions, guys?
I think we're in the clear, guys. Let's get out of here and maybe go find a way to drop off some intel at your new handler.
Yeah,
Because I
sounds
think
good.
him having this information is going to be incredibly important.
Thank you for your time today, Dr. McMahon.
The psychiatrist thanks you and shows you out of his office.
I pick up my security detail and we get the fuck out of Dodge.
All right, so... Sorry, Kenny?
No, I didn't say anything.
All right, so were you given how you were supposed to report back? Do we just go back to court, do you think?
I don't think I was supposed to tell them at court.
And also, you got all 5 clues, so whenever you want to solve this, you've got it.
Kit, would you like to
Tibbs?
take the honors?
Uh, yeah. So what I am tracking is that basically Will has been under investigation by the police for a bit now. They finally managed to get someone on the inside, and that person on the inside confiscated Will's medication. And since he went off his medication, he has started to spiral because of his issues.
Are we close?
Yes, you went a little more in depth than the solution I have for you. But yes, Will's clarity has been rapidly eroded. The date in August that keeps getting thrown around, as the 3 of you discuss what clues you've gathered, it becomes apparent. This was the meeting for a peace treaty between Royal Flush and the Lost Vegas Freehold.
The one we ran.
It appears that incident was the tipping point. And after that, he began to spiral into an obsession with Jack.
Checks out. All right, so with only the information we received from the police officers in hand, I think Kenzie tries to get in contact with Keith. I'm sure that we got given some way of contacting him, and I'm sure he didn't want her just to roll up and say, "Hi, I got that thing you wanted."
No, he didn't give anything that we didn't discuss.
All right, well, then let's go find him.
Well, Kenzie, where do you want to go?
The dump, maybe?
Yeah, let's try the dump.
We've
Or
been
back
out.
to court?
We can
If-
check.
He's probably still going to be at court.
We'll check there, and if nothing else, he might have left someone behind. So let's go to court.
All right. So the group arrives back at court. It's a little bit clearer now. And while the three of you look around, you can see the gargoyle Keith sitting at the bar by himself. When he notices Kinsey enter the room, a brief look of surprise crosses his stony face.
I'm afraid this is all on you, Kenzie. We literally can't be involved in this.
All right, I do have the evidence you guys collected, though, right?
You have all of the evidence that we got from the police directly. You have none of the information that we wrote down from interrogating Dream Dude.
Yep. So I walk over to him with a little wave and ask if there's someplace we can talk.
He takes you to a secluded area of the sub-basement hallways and says, okay,
Before we go
night,
on,
Morgan.
remember to mention the name Jones as the person infiltrating the house. We need to get rid of that person immediately.
All right, night, Morgan. Did you find anything?
Yes, actually. So not only did we stymie the car at the junkyard, we infiltrated the police lockup and a detective's office to take back the evidence they've gathered. I have photos of Will's house taken by one in his employ by the name of Jones, who needs to be removed. I also have intelligence that they have photos of a pin board with strings across it from the dump.
They stole his medication.
They stole his medication. What was the other one?
They've been recording his phone calls and listening to his voice messages.
And we have transcripts of all of his phone calls and voice messages. We also know that it's Faye involved.
The gargoyle is silent for a moment or two. And when he speaks again, he says, Night, Morgan, I massively underestimated you. I expected for you to be shot or arrested. I was hoping to rid the court of dead weight. But I see here that somehow you managed. I'm going to have to observe your methods at some point, because I'm certain I won't approve. But one way or another, you manage to get back here in one piece with all of the evidence. You're in.
Kenzie does a little dance.
Alrighty. The other two of you, I would like you to roll a chance die, please.
Absolutely. I would be surprised if we didn't get one.
Nope.
So that's a 1 from Tibbs and a 3 from me. We are not doing well tonight.
All right. So, Kenzie, was there anything else you wanted to say to Keith, or are you ready to rejoin the others?
I'm ready to rejoin him.
All right. The evidence turned over. You head in to rejoin the others. You've barely gotten to tell them what's going on when the door slams open and an extremely worried-looking Grimalkin comes in with a large box. It's wrapped in wrapping paper that appears to have been cobbled together from random pages of a book.
I see we've got a letter. Are any of the kings here? Are any of the royals here right now?
Agatha is not on the dais, but she is here as the current reigning seasonal monarch.
Then she's the person who gets to decide what to do with this, but I think I can take the package as a resident noble. I'm going to walk over to the cat, exchange the box with them, hand them some tuna for their troubles, and I'm going to tell you I am carrying tuna with me wherever I go these days.
The Grimalkin is absolutely elated to get the package out of its paws and hands it off immediately before scampering off somewhere, anywhere
And
that isn't here.
I walk it over to Agatha with the solemnest of expressions, as if I am delivering the check at the end of the night.
Agatha has primly set herself up in a small booth. She's reading a very large, very old book and has spread out a sandwich and small bag of chips in front of her, as though she's planning to be here all night.
I do apologize, ma'am. It seems we have a delivery, and I suspect I know from whom.
Agatha looks up at the box in your hands, and her eyes flash with worry. She takes the box from you and carefully opens it up. Inside is a small hobgoblin, about 8 inches high, roughly toad-like in appearance, wearing a powdered wig and a outfit a vintage soldier's outfit emblazoned with the seal of the Grand Library. The hobgoblin holds in its little hand a proclamation. It hops out of the box and looks Agatha up and down. Ye be the reigning monarch. Agatha nods to the hobgoblin. I bring ye a missive from the Lord of Tales. He opens up the parchment he has, clears his throat, and reads in an extremely loud voice that goes from the floors to the rafters. So everybody in the sub basement can hear it. Well done on removing the Grim Hunter from my employ. With no one to lead the wild hunt's night shall be no more. But, in accordance with the seasonal bargain, I must inform you that on this new moon 3 nights hence, I shall hunt you myself. The small a small toad-like hobgoblin, gingerly puts the proclamation down on the table and then holds out its webbed paw to Agatha, waving its fingers back and forth. Agatha sighs and hands the toad a poker chip. The toad grabs the top of the box and jumps back inside, fastening it back on. From inside, you can hear him saying, "Ye can post me back to mine lord."
I lean down to the box. It's all right?
Verily.
All right. Well. Hi, Agatha. I can't tell. Are you more upset at us or thrilled at us having accomplished something?
She looks around. That hobgoblin who has said that the Grim Hunter is no more. Was that you?
Yeah,
When were you planning on telling me?
honestly, that was one of the things we were going to be talking about tonight. I just didn't know if you wanted that announced in front of everyone, so we were going to wrap up the evening with it. Give you some time to think about it before you had to make an official proclamation with everyone here. It made a lot of sense.
She slams shut her books and stands up. I'm going to contact the other royals. You, since you have specifically pissed off the Lord of Tales, go do what you can.
Can I at least give you one more piece of information that would be extremely relevant?
You've got 10 seconds.
We have Odin on our side now.
Grim Hunter was Odin. Odin is working with us and has agreed to harry the forces of the Lord of Tales and will be cooperating in this matter. Also, apparently, the huntsmen are gods with their hearts carved out.
Agatha doesn't say anything for a few moments before bringing her finger up to wag at all three of you in turn and saying, "What?"
We wanted to talk to you in private about this.
It seemed like a lot to just go up and say in the middle of court. I thought we would need to talk to you privately. There was a lot going on this evening.
There certainly was. Well, we need to have a debriefing then.
Sounds like a plan. I'm gonna go get rid of the box. I don't really like holding it. I promise I'll come back.
Thank you.
Can we do the debriefing all at once this time so Will doesn't freak out about my English again?
Well, I didn't actually plan to have us go through the debriefing. Let's do that off screen.
Regardless.
I think this is a good point to end.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man, yeah.
For the record, I did in fact intend to tell her at the end of the evening, since we would be coming back.
So, let's go over our aspirations.
Oh.
I completely forgot to do mine, so I just have my 2 long term. And I do believe I took a step towards speedrunning Goldeneye.
Mm-hmm.
And I do believe we took a step towards loose lips sink ships.
Mm-hmm. And considering you've been put on the spot far more than you're usually comfortable for today, I'm going to give you a bonus beat.
Thank you.
So,
Who's next?
I only could come up with one because I wasn't sure where tonight was going to go for the short term, which was get some answers, and I sure as shit did. Figure out what Rattlebones is doing. Well, we just got a parcel about what's happening in the next few days. I'm guessing that's involved. Would that be fair to say?
Yep.
Diffuse the time bomb was about Will, and we just got a lot of answers about what's going on with Will. I think that's a step.
Yep.
And achieve the old dream. Well, I've spent a fair bit of time setting up getting my money together and getting my resources together. I think we're making progress down that way.
I believe so too.
Okay. So, yeah, my first aspiration is find a warm place in winter. I would definitely say learning more about what is going on with the winter monarch is definitely a step towards that.
Oh, yes.
Definitely take a step towards being a party pooper because we definitely killed the vibe at the end there.
Yeah.
The vibe was murdered in cold blood.
Yeah. And then pull myself together, made more steps towards finding some of my icons. And I for Gentleman's Gambit, I made the first steps towards finding the other huntsman's heart.
The bespectacled gentleman.
That's the one.
Yep.
All right. So I have one question. How upset are all of the royals at us? Scale of 1 to 10.
Decently. We'll go into this at a later time.
I figured. I just want to know exactly how much aggro we just drew. Whew. Okay. Well, with that, I believe we're wrapping up for the evening.
Yep. Thank you very much for being here with us today. We're always happy to have people here. Also, just a quick reminder, I haven't mentioned it in a while, but the Onyx Path game night will be on the 27th on the Onyx Path Discord. If you're interested, the link to the Discord is in the chat. Thanks again for showing up, everybody. We really appreciate it, and we hope that you all have a good night.